What's up, guys? This is week 2, day 3 of this current cycle. So really just my warm up here. A little posterior hip mobilization, kind of getting the hip to sit back in the socket a little bit as we get ready for some squats. Probably do about a couple each side. We'll do some quadruped rock backs. Again, just nice and easy getting down to deep flexion. Try not to get super pinchy with that. A variation I'll do with this is I'll get down there and then I'll kind of rock side to side a little bit. And then we'll do kind of a little bit of like a cobra with a twist into an overhead press. So we're getting some spine, neck prep, and then again some overhead loading as well. Probably do about 5 each side here, just really more than anything, getting warmed up. That's all really this kind of floor-based movements in warm-up are. And we'll go into some hip circles here, I believe. I'm sorry, we got some scap circles. So really just getting the shoulder blades to move around in a couple different directions on the shoulder blade. So we'll do that. We'll do about maybe 10 clockwise, 10 counterclockwise, just to get those shoulders warmed up since we got some cleans today to get ready for that front rack. Moving into some hip circles here. So as you can see, we're kind of hitting all different areas of the body more than anything. Hips, low back, a little bit of some lower body, and now we're on to some core. So we'll do some single leg planks here. It might be tough to see in this video, but I'm essentially picking one leg up and holding it here. It's really going to challenge your ability to maintain that vertical posture with good lumbar and pelvic control. So really like adding these in lately. Then moving to some side planks with the rotation, keeping that bottom glute engage and not necessarily letting my hip drop down to the ground as I rotate through. We get a lot of oblique work here as well. We'll try to keep that top leg up to get a little more kind of top leg stimulus as well. And then we're going into some more kind of glute work, glute med work through the range, getting some flexion and into extension again, just since we have some squatting going on, and I found it to be helpful with that. So we'll do a couple each side. Then we'll go into almost a star pattern here shortly where I'm essentially reaching with my top hand and my back leg. And that's just going to be helpful right here. Yes, it's going to be helpful to just get a little more pelvis on femur rotation into that more flexed position more than anything, and maintaining that glute contraction there. So again, just some kind of hip prep for squatting. And then last thing, I always like to hit some hip extension work. So we'll do a single leg glute bridge with a kettlebell here, put it on there, getting up to that position, make sure we're not feeling it in kind of the front of that hip or the groin more than anything, and just getting an all glute stimulus. So that's really kind of like towards the end of this prep is hitting just a lot of kind of glute and extension based work. And the last one here is actually to kind of work these deep hip external rotators. So I'm not trying to lift a kettlebell. I purposely used a heavier kettlebell so I can't move it, but I'm essentially trying to create hip external rotation. So I'm driving the outside of that right knee into the ground while I'm rotating up. So you don't want to get anything at the knee here. You really want to make sure you're feeling this in the deep hip more than anything. You almost feel like you're wringing out a towel in the hip. So that's what that looks like. And then the last part here is a little bit of some adductor prep. So kind of just going through the range here, find the right tension, straight leg, going through. I've actually found that on my right side, this is actually significantly tougher. One, that's a side I have a little bit of some groin issues with, but I also get a little bit of my SI joint when I'm doing that, which tells me there's probably a little bit of a force closure component going on this right groin, which I've actually had for a while. But moving on to power cleans, we did 3 sets of 3 today on our medium day, just at 155 from the hang position. Just really, again, working positional work, getting to the hip without coming up on the toes. This is a medium day, so intensity is, I don't really go off of percentages or whatnot. I kind of go based off of feel more than anything. This is our third and final set here. But this is probably going to be around the 70 to 80, maybe 85% from the hang position. And I'm really just trying to make sure it's moving fast more than anything. So that's really kind of what we're looking at from the power clean work today from the hang. And then I'll kind of superset it with a little bit of some core work. So getting some, in this case, some right internal, left external oblique while moving on a stable right hip. And then the kind of other main lift today was a high box squat, so really getting down and then pushing through the floor. So it's about 255, I think. So same thing, 3x3, and really trying not to kind of launch off the box, just kind of a quick tap and go. It's gonna be really challenging to be able to maintain that good concentric bar speed. So that was the first or second set there. And this is our last set here of 3. So this is 265 on the bar. Didn't use the mini band around my legs. I actually felt better with the mini band. I think on my hip, I think just give me that abduction seems to help. These honestly felt pretty solid otherwise, kind of getting down, pushing up. That last one was a little bit of a grind there. And then we supersetted these to some pull-ups. So just 3x10 pull-ups. This is the last set here. So I think I got to maybe 7 or 8 and just fatigue. So I had to break it up and then kind of get 3 more good push-ups or pull-ups, after that. So a little bit of a cluster set, but I really like adding in the pull-up work just from an upper back development and a grip standpoint as well. And then the last And then the last thing I did separately by itself was just some double kettlebell presses. So we did about 2x10 here, really just getting a little bit of an upper body pump in, keeping good tempos. These are 53 pounds, 24 kilo kettlebells in each hand more than anything. So I hand clean them up, or kettlebell clean them up, and then going into 10 presses for 2 sets there. Again, I just like getting some pressing volume in, since I can't, from just a height standpoint, press my basement.